Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Vito Capizzo Stadium for today's game featuring MIAA playoff boys lacrosse game featuring your Nantucket Whalers playing host to the Archbishop Williams 13 and 6 Archbishop Williams Club. Your Whalers were seated second in this tournament. Archbishop Williams got here by virtue of a play-in round win over Tri-County. We mentioned that Archbishop Williams is 13 and 6. This is the second time we've played them in our program history. We defeated them pretty soundly years and years ago, so that's not really relevant to what's going to happen today. Archbishop Williams has a short bench today, so it'll be interesting how that plays out on a fairly warm afternoon. Austin Starr ready to take the face-off for the Whalers, as he has all year. Ben Lombardi and Cam Bartlett on the wings. Starr with a clamp. The ball's out. Owen West up with the ball, but a misplay. Flip back to the goalie, Keegan Downey. Ben Lombardi up with it. Checked away by Archbishop Williams. Number 1, John Barry, the attackman, handles the ball for Williams. I'm told he's one of their featured guys, but now he's coming out as a sub. Changing sticks, back on the field. I guess he's a midfielder after all. Barry looks to carry. Gets it behind the goal, number 24, Nolan Basso. Now here comes Barry. I'm told that talking to the coaches before the game, they mentioned that Archbishop Williams plays a very, very, very deliberate style of offense. They look to dodge with their 1 or 2 featured players and feed the ball cross crease. Austin Starr playing good patient defense there. Barry forces a right-handed shot from a couple paces inside the restraining line. Probably a 15-yard shot there. Joel McVicker covering Basso here. Stepped in the crease, it appears. It'll be Nantucket ball. Nantucket might want to force the pace today against this very shallow bench from Archbishop Williams. Spencer West carries behind. Sam O'Keefe getting his first start this year, as Darian Duart's going to be playing primarily midfield today. Here's that first midfield group for Nantucket. Terrain Burton with the ball, right-handed move, shot, and bounces it over the goal, but that was a nice take by Burton. This first midfield group's been solid for Nantucket all year long. Ty Harnesviger carries it, gets it out to Lombardi, over to Burton. Right now, Darian Duart's in there. Alex Small is coming off the bench as a sub. Lombardi drives right, slips. Being covered by number 12, John Vaughn. Behind to Harnesviger. Early in the game, Nantucket trying to find a matchup they like. Here comes Lombardi. Back to his right, feeds the crease. That was a good idea by Nantucket. Just a little mishandle in there tight. Archbishop Williams up with the ball. Number 6, Brian McSweeney carries it across. Nolan Basso again. Talking to Coach Aloisi and Coach Gamble before the game, they said this was something to watch for. Very, very deliberate on offense. Try to get a matchup and go to the goal as late in the possession as possible. It's going to be interesting to see how often and if these guys get called for a stall. It's pretty clear they're not going to the goal in a hurry. And we have 3 officials today as opposed to the usual 2. This is more like a college officiating team. Will these officials call the stall warning early in the possession or no? Nice save by Keegan Downey. Push on Terrain Burton. It'll be Williams' ball. Nantucket has to be patient playing defense. That time they got a little too aggressive, wrap checked, and the guy was able to get by for a shot. I don't think you can hold Nantucket to a real low score in a given situation in terms of the whole game. So just be patient. You know, Williams wants this to be a low-scoring contest, obviously. Nantucket slid a little late that time to number 12, John Vaughn. It looks as though Vaughn, Basso, and number 24, or number 1 rather, John Barry are their key guys. Here's Barry with the ball up top. He looks to be a hybrid attackman midi on the offensive end. Once again, you can see Archbishop Williams is clearly aware of the fact that they don't have a deep bench. Nantucket can't be too aggressive here. Archbishop Williams really is playing with fire here in terms of a stall warning. I'll be surprised if the refs don't call it if it continues at this pace. Nice double by Nantucket. Barry was able to, Basso rather, was able to squeeze through that double and get off a pretty good shot. Nantucket's given up a few good looks at the goal so far. The shot, but it's outside. Downey recovers it in the crease. Risky pass there by Keegan. But here comes Terrain with his speed. Right by there. And Terrain looks like he's hurt. Well, the Archbishop Williams coach is complaining about the call. It was pretty darn obvious that Terrain got body checked a little late. And, yep, good call, sir. Yeah, some things don't change. Years ago when we played these guys, the coach was pretty vocal, and it appears to be the same today. Looks like Terrain's going to be all right. When you see something that you really worry about a concussion, but I think he just got a kind of a late hit in the abdomen or chest area. So he just needs a little rest. He's a football guy. He'll be right back out there. Nantucket, you can see how much faster Nantucket's moving the ball. They have more guys getting involved, and if they just move their feet and play fundamentally sound, the goals will start to come. Alex Small, probably one of Nantucket's good medium-range shooters. Nantucket's extra man play here. Looking to get a good shot down low. You don't want to take the first shot you have. You don't want that medium-range shot on extra man necessarily. Try to get something in close. Good stick skills by the Whalers. Harnish figure out to Duarte. Over to Small. Alex looks to skip a pass perhaps. Mishandled by Owen. Or by Austin, rather. Nantucket's got to come up with it here. That's a push. They didn't call it. Nantucket turns it over on the extra man play. Penalty expires. Teams are at even strength. Well, Well, early in the game here, we have some back and forth between the coaches. I had the dubious privilege of speaking to the Archbishop Williams coach before the game. Not the friendliest guy I've ever met, but anyway, we're not here to be pals, I guess. Nantucket's called for an offsides. The Archbishop Williams coach complained. I don't think the officials saw it, but he capitulated, shall we say. Nantucket's playing 5-on-6 right now with a 30-second offside call. No, another outside shot. Archbishop Williams tries to buy an unnecessary roughness call there. They don't get it. Keegan Downey, the junior goalkeeper, brings it up. Looking to clear. Makes a long clearing pass. Goes through. Not a bad play there, given that everybody was covered. Don't want to see that every time, but in that circumstance, not a bad play at all. Williams clears it again. Nantucket looks a little sleepy right now. I'd say that they have more talent on the field. They certainly have more depth, but they have to make something happen here. Here we go. Terrain in the open field. Nice look. A little low in the pass. Ty comes up with it. With Duarte playing midfield, it's going to be more opportunities for Spencer West and Ty Harnischfeger to be initiators. Moving Duarte to midfield was a key move by the coaching staff, given the fact that it's in the warmer weather in the playoffs, you're going to be playing teams with deeper benches, and you really can't get by with just one midfield group. Alex Small goes right-handed, moves it along. Early on, observation would be that Nantucket has more quality stick handlers than do the Archies. Here comes Alex. Nice shot on goal. Makes the goalie save it. Not a bad take. Their goalkeeper doesn't look to be very fleet of foot and stick handling skills, so Nantucket might allow him to bring the ball up. There's a call there, and I have no idea what it was. Got him for a real iffy slash call there. I mean, that's the call that really you don't see made very often. Although he got him in the back a little bit. I suppose they're trying to enforce that a little more this year, but very marginal call, I thought. Number 24, Basso, brings it on for the Archies. Being covered by the senior Owen West. Owen's had a real solid year, as has this Nantucket close defense. After not playing for a couple of years, Owen's really come on strong. Gives the Nantucket a physical edge behind that goal. Whalers probably want to play a little tighter on ball here, even though they're man down. Number one's almost in shooting range. Outside take by number 12, John Vaughn. Vaughn, Barry, and Basso seem to be their guys. Here's Barry to Vaughn. I think we'll be hearing those names a lot today. Once again, I think Nantucket might consider shutting one of these guys off. Their extra man play, appears to be just a triangle, move it around to those three players. Try to maybe skip a pass to Vaughn on the backside, or to Barry on the backside, rather. There he goes on cue. Yep. Nice save. Nantucket's had the trail check a little too much so far today. I think the Whalers just need to move their feet and stay in front of these kids. They're not super fast, but I think the Whalers are getting a little impatient, which is kind of what this offense encourages. They want to slow it down and make you overplay them, and then when you do, try to beat you or draw a foul. Nice clear by Ben Lombardi for the Whalers. Joel McVicker set a pick for me, ran by. Now here comes Terrain into a crowd. Bounce shot. And flag down. Looks like they got Archbishop Williams for a slash. This could be one of those games, too, where the Whalers, they got him for a slash. That's a good call. The Whalers could really benefit themselves today by comporting themselves really well in front of these officials. I have a feeling, that Archbishop Williams is going to be a little bit tired and is going to start swinging those sticks some. And if Nantucket could draw a few extra fouls today, that'll make a big difference, given their advantage in overall stick skills. Here's the Nantucket extra man play. Looking to throw it back to Alex. Okay. And Ben Lombardi turns the corner, the senior. Very similar to a play he made early in the season against North Reading, where you get that senior leadership. He saw an opening there, wasn't afraid, turned the corner, and threw it over the goalie's left shoulder. Nice play, Ben. So it's 1-0 Nantucket Whalers with 1:33 left here in the first quarter. Austin Starr facing off for the Whalers, the usual face-off team with Bartlett on the wing. One by John Barry for the Archies. Now up to John Vaughn. it really looks as though Archbishop Williams isn't really going to get their complementary players too involved, which I think on a fairly warm day against the deeper team might be their undoing at some point today. We have John Vaughn here, the midfielder, carrying behind the goal against Terrain. He's got a height advantage, but Terrain's awfully quick. They're going to slide early. Another very, very, very marginal call. This guy's calling it really tight. I guess that's just the way it's going to be. That's a second slash call in that quadrant of the field by the same official. But if they're going to call it tight, you have to understand that. I think the tight calls can help both teams, probably Nantucket a little more, given that Archbishop Williams is not really getting that many players involved, even on their extra man. Moved up top. John Vaughn with a shot. That's a 15-yard take. I think Keegan saw it all the way. Another thing worth mentioning is, other than perhaps Barry, it doesn't seem as though too many of these guys can carry the ball very effectively with their offhand. Barry sized it up for a right-handed shot. Now it's up to Vaughn. Over again to Barry. They try to feed a skip pass cross crease. Coach Corey Gamble was telling me before the game that's a real. Coach Aloisi calls a timeout. Whalers retake the field. It'd be interested to see what their clearing strategy is here. Are they going to give it to a midfielder, or are they going to let Keegan Downey pick it up? There's less time in the quarter than there is in the failure to advance situation. So Nantucket can't get called for a failure to advance. It looks like they're going to give the ball to Alex Small here, and something tells me he's just going to run it out. The Whalers ought to. This looks like it's going to be a punt return clear here, as we say. Yep, here comes Alex. See you later, alligator. And Nantucket clears it. Nantucket ought to go to the goal right away here. 5 seconds. Nantucket was man down there. I should have mentioned that. So they wanted to hold the ball. I stand corrected. I thought the penalty had expired. Nantucket was man down, so having held the ball like that, they will maintain possession without a face-off to start the second quarter. Of course, I should mention, with the passing of Coach Capizzo, the naming of this stadium takes on all the more important significance. Really, probably the greatest history, undoubtedly the greatest figure in the history of Nantucket sports, as we all know, passed away recently, and his service will be this weekend. I know that so many people were touched by Coach Capizzo that you can't even really put it in words. And our thoughts are all with his family, with Barbara and Scott, and Coach, if you're watching, we all loved you and respected you, and we know somewhere you have a smile on your face for Nantucket sports. We're back out here. Freshman Sam O'Keefe carrying the ball. O'Keefe is making his first start for the Whalers today at attack. He's looked good when he's been called upon this year, and having him at attack allows the Whalers to play Darian Duart in the midfield, which effectively gives Nantucket 5 midfielders as opposed to just 3, which they used early in the season, along with Austin Starr and that first midfield group. And those are all talented players, and along with Cam Bartlett, that gives Nantucket a real good group that can compete with the deeper teams that they're likely to see in the playoffs should they move along today. The winner of this game will play the winner of the Hull-Cohasset game, which is being played today. Of the Hull-Norwell game, rather. And Norwell defeated Hull in the regular season, so those are both teams that Nantucket has seen before. Lombardi drives righty, moves it over to Ty. Mishandled by Sam, but he picks it up. O'Keefe has a lot of composure for a freshman. He really, and an added bonus is, although he's a natural righty, he handles the ball well lefty and can play on that side. Here's Spencer West with a good move to the goal. The ball's not going out, but Terrain gets there with time to spare. The goalie, I think rather foolishly, tried to outrun Terrain to the end line. Terrain with a swim dodge. And here's the same official calling a foul, and this time it's in Nantucket's favor. I got to say, this is a real tightly called contest, particularly by this one official. Got him for a push. Once again, we'll take it. We'll be extra. This Archbishop Williams team out of the Catholic Central League with a 13-6, a pretty good 13-6 record, and they played some quality competition as well. So this is these kind of games, these playoff games, even though it's the first full round, is a big step up in competition as compared to what Nantucket sees during the regular season in their league games. Nantucket had 2 quality wins against Division II non-league opponents this year. They split with North Reading, and they split with Nauset. So here we go. Alex takes a high, hard outside shot. Got to put it on goal, but that was a good look. That shot was there that time, and even though it wasn't on goal, that's good news for Nantucket. It looks like they're slowing down a little bit. Terrain with that really effective outside bounce shot. He's got such a compact shooting stroke, folks. It's really, if you follow lacrosse, you don't see that many players that put that much juice on the ball with such a compact stroke. Nantucket tries to throw a little wheel play. Mishandled by Archbishop Williams, out of bounds. It'll be Whaler ball. Teams are at even strength. Harnish figure brings it on. The coaches were remarking before the game that Nantucket looked very, very good in practice yesterday on offense and in general. Here comes Terrain Burton. Lombardi picks on ball. Burton goes left-handed, takes a shot. Another slash call. I think we've had 4 personal fouls. Maybe I think that's Nantucket's 3rd extra man, and they've had at least 3. So there have been 6 time fouls so far in this game, and we're just into the second quarter. That's a lot of fouls for a whole game, folks. So clearly the officials have decided to keep this really tightly under control, and it's good news for Nantucket if it's going to be called both ways, because I think Nantucket has the decided advantage in their extra man play, given that they have more versatile players. They're not relying on those 1 or 2 kids. You want to keep the ball moving on extra man offense. Alex around to Terrain. Nice take by Terrain. Bounce shot, gets the goalie in the chest protector. Their goalie looks a little unsure carrying the ball, and on cue he throws it up in the air. Spud. Nice body check. Nantucket trying to get the ball back. Owen West up with it. Over to Keegan Downey, the Nantucket junior goalkeeper. Up to Terrain and mishandles. Keegan up with it again. You can see the advantage of having an athletic goalie. Uh-oh. That was almost a buddy pass, as they say, but luckily for Terrain, he didn't get cleaned out. Archbishop Williams up with the ball. Ball's on the ground. Watch for the push, guys. There's Joel McVicker on the ball, along with Terrain Burton. Owen West in on the action as well. And Nantucket's got to kick that ball out. Number 1, John Barry, comes up with it for the Archies. Gets it behind to Basso again, being covered by McVicker. Mishandled. Whalers have to pick this ball up here. Flick it in there to Keegan Downey. Out to Alex. He'll look to run it out. Alex needs to get a touch here. I think you can already see signs that Archbishop Williams is getting a little weary here. They're having to play a fair amount of defense, and when they're on offense, they're really relying, once again, on those 3 kids. They're not making Nantucket play a lot of team defense. They're just, Nantucket knows where to look. Here's Spencer West with a nice inside move. Oh, nice trail check by Archbishop Williams. Number 34, Dan Sherwin. Nice check there by Sherwin. Little mix-up in transition for Nantucket. They dodged a bullet there. Ben Lombardi and Terrain were a little mixed up there about who was going to stay back when I guess it was Duart went over. Oh. Shot by John Vaughn. We're going to know these three names by the end of the game, folks. Basso brings it on. Basso's looking to get that inside roll off the left-hand edge. Barry carries it behind. Barry over to 13. Nick Glass, he's carried the ball a little bit today, but besides, I don't think a couple of their kids have even touched the ball on the offensive end. No need to overplay him here. I think the officials really need to start considering giving a stall warning. I mean, oh my gosh, I don't know what that call is, folks. This one official is, I think he thinks we're at the girls' game. And there we have Barry breaks the ice for Archbishop Williams. In addition, I think they're going to get us for a slash. Very, very tightly called game. This one official is just, no, looks like he got him for a hold, so it should be wiped out. Oh no, they're saying they're man up. Got him for a slash. Sure didn't see that. Well, as long as they're calling it both ways, Nantucket can't complain. They've been extra man a lot too. So, but really like to see them let the kids play a little more than this. This is after all a contact sport. Timeout, Archbishop Williams. They want to set up their extra man play, see if they can take the lead for the first time today. Of course, we haven't done a broadcast for a while now. The playoffs were pushed forward another week, or I should say back another week this year. I guess it was because of inclement weather. Usually the playoffs are seeded before Memorial Day weekend, and this year they played an extra week of games. Nantucket hadn't had any games postponed, so the Whalers actually haven't played in a couple of weeks, and I think that could be part of the little bit of rust on the part of the Whalers. Although their stick skills look good, they just haven't been able to find the goal as often as you might like. I think if Nantucket just moves their feet and is nice and patient, doesn't get frustrated by the slow pace of play, and then they can just be a little more effective when they have their opportunities on offense, which they have had. They should be able to, to be pretty good shape in this game. But it's the kind of game Archbishop Williams wants so far, 1-1 with, only 5 minutes left in the first half. Austin started to take the face off. Nantucket down a man, nobody on that far wing. They got Austin for a hold, but like so many of the calls today, I'm not sure I saw that. It was just a clamp move. Here we see the Archie's extra man play. John Vaughn with the ball. Here comes John Barry, number 1. Basso is parked on that backside. We have to be aware of that. They're looking to feed Basso on the backside, I'll tell you that right now, or give Vaughn a shot from out front. Here we go. Dodges inside and scores. And here we go, another flag. The officials, it's been both ways, I guess, but boy, he got knocked down. I guess they're going to call him for unnecessary roughness or a high hit. That makes it 2-1, Archbishop Williams, and Nantucket will be penalized, probably for unnecessary roughness or a late hit. Maybe say they got him in the head. Got him for a slash. To me, it looked like he was knocked down after the shot, which is what you're coached to do from the time you're in about second grade. But this has just been an extremely tightly called game. Start to take the face-off again with the Whalers trailing for the first time today. 5:05 left in the game. Once again, they call Austin. I think they got him that time for kneeling on the opponent's stick, which I think was the correct call. Here's John Vaughn, the righty midi, bringing it on, number 12. John Barry, who seems to be a sort of a midi attack hybrid. This is the Archie extra man play again. So far, here comes Glass bringing the ball up. It looks like Vaughn and Barry are willing to play catch on the right-hand side and look to maybe dump it cross crease to Basso for their extra man play. The other kids don't seem to be involved at all. Glass, number 13, is the only kid that's really, Nick Glass, has even touched the ball today. Number 9, Matt Menzel, and number 19, Brandon Foley, have been used mainly as defense. I mean, they haven't had a role in offense so far today. Here's Basso bringing it on. Behind to Barry. Super deliberate style of play here. I really have to say, I wish the officials were being as hard on their extra man. This extra man now, they're not going to call him for a stall. They won't, an extra man. But I wish the officials would be as diligent about calling stalls as they have been calling slashes, because, boy, this team is really slowing it down to the point where it's nice trail check there. Come on, Keegan, clamp that ball. Okay, in the crease. Now the official should let him pick the ball up right away. Anyway, Keegan over to Owen West. Back to Keegan. Downey needs to come up the field and draw a man. Oh, no, that's not what we wanted. Darian hustles and gets it back, then drops it again. You really want to make them play you. If Downey has to make them cover him there to get the extra man open. But at any rate, it'll be Archbishop Williams' ball again with 3:24 left in the first half. A 2-1 lead for Archbishop Williams in a game which they've really 3-1. Here's and it's so important to make them play you so somebody can come wide open. Austin started to face off again. Bartlett and Lombardi on the wings. The penalties and illegal procedures have really cost Nantucket in the last several minutes of this game. The penalties, even when teams haven't scored, the amount of penalty play has really made this game. Okay, is cross-field clearing pass intercepted by Lombardi. 2:51 left. Nantucket has one timeout. They might want to call it here. They need to get a touch. Okay. Terrain Burton with the ball being covered by a long stick. Alex up top. Ben sets a pick for him. Alex has a right-handed drive here. Alex. Good leadership by the senior. You know, that's a very, very simple offensive play by Nantucket. And I'll tell you right now, John Barry is looking pretty tired. Time favors the Whalers as we move along here. So it's 3-2. Archbishop Williams, unassisted goal by Alex Small. The Whalers uncharacteristically haven't had an assisted goal yet today, and I think that's something as the game moves along, it's going to come into play. If they just keep moving the ball, it'll be much to their advantage. Scrum at the face-off X. Ball's out. Archbishop Williams' long sticks on their face-off team have been pretty effective today. Number 33, Sean Lavelle. Shot goes wide. Keegan almost gets a stick on it. Now Cam Willett behind the goal, covering Glass. Over here to the usual suspects. Bartlett there on John Vaughn. skip pass over to Basso, being covered there by McVicker. Crossfield pass is going to go out of bounds. Terrain Burton with his speed. Oh, in a hurry, understandably, but Nantucket, even though they have the speed advantage in the midfield, it might not be a bad time for them to be nice and patient. The goalie, another mishandle by the goalie. Darian Duart up with it. Oh, trail checked. Archbishop Williams calls a timeout to save a possession. It'll be Archbishop Williams' ball just outside of the restraining box, their defensive end. John Vaughn will pick it up for them. Say some of their kids aren't going to have any trouble getting to sleep tonight because they're handling the ball the whole game. Vaughn's going to run it out. Don't step off. Nantucket. Oh, Nantucket. Spencer just stepped off sides. This has plagued Nantucket all year long. And I mean, you know, it's a lesson you have to learn sooner or later. When you're in attack, when you're that restraining line, you know, if it's not a situation like the end of the game where you absolutely have to have the ball back, don't go anywhere near that restraining line. You know, it's a 30-second penalty, just like a push. This is an opportunity for them, with 47 seconds left in the half, to make something happen. You can see, here we go, Barry Vaughn. Yep. And as a result of that penalty, we just gave them a 2-goal lead back right before halftime. And just learn a lesson there. That's okay. Make the next play, Spencer, but let's stay away from that line. So that makes it 4-2. Archbishop Williams on an unassisted goal from John Vaughn. I don't believe there's been an assist yet in this game. Nantucket just needs to get on their sticks. Clearly, I think the Whalers need to maybe focus a little more on making their secondary players do something, and be a lot more focused on staying on the sticks of their featured guys. Even though they were a man down that time, that was a pretty uncontested shot. Barry with the ball again with 26 seconds to go. Stay in front of him. Looks to feed the crease. Here we go. Nice save by Keegan. Once again, Vaughn with another shot.
14, 13, 12.
Stay in front of him here, guys. Oh, Nick Glass, the first guy outside of their big three to score today, giving them a 5-2 advantage. The Whalers really have hurt themselves here at the end of the first half. Ill-advised penalty, and then just a little case of not staying in front of the opponent that time. 2 goals that probably could have been fairly easily prevented. But nonetheless, it's a 5-2 lead for Archbishop Williams with 7.5 seconds to play. Another unassisted goal. There's not been an assist yet in this game. Kind of tells you something about the pace. Archbishop Williams is up with the face-off. Loose ball. That should do it for the half.